Welcome. This is a timeless reading for those of you who are finding this. So if you stumble across it the day it's out or in a year's time, know and trust that you have been called here for a reason. Now, what I do is I channel the possibilities and the pathways for you moving forward. In particular, those who are here on this planet, on this earth, to do soul work. That could be through a business, through a mission, or simply how you live your life. So truly allow it to resonate how it resonates and use what works and leave the rest. This is an active co-creation. I believe this is always a two-way channel, and what comes up and through for me, I will communicate it as clearly as possible. But your responsibility here is to integrate and to allow your own intuition and guides to lead you in the direction of your most divine aligned pathway. All right, we're going to start with the WildWood Tarot and see what comes up and through for you. Let's just dive in. Ooh, all right, quite a few cards have popped out here. We have Balance, the Waters of Life, the Page of Arrows, the Knight of Vessels, the Moon on the Water, the World Tree, and the Five of Bows, Empowerment. This is telling me so much about you and your potential pathways at the moment. Let's work backwards from this. So the first card, the Five of Bows, Empowerment. I get the sense this is what you're aiming for, this is what you're working towards, and this is what you crave and you desire. There is a part of you that just wants to go out there and make your mark on the world. However, you're not feeling fully supported, fully guided, and fully capable of realizing this mark. The beautiful World Tree behind the Empowerment card to me really speaks of the fact that your years on this earth have really well prepared you for that mark you want to make on the world. And it doesn't matter if your years on this earth are 20, I nearly said 200 next, probably not that one, 20 or 40 or 60 or 80, this level of impact will not be influenced by your 3D age. Your ability, your wisdom, your gift that you have to bring to the work, your soul work, that's what we're talking about here, is not determined by something as just irrelevant as an age. So if that is something that's been holding you back, this is your invitation to release it, to allow it to flow and go. There might be still more there. So you're really invited to go through what is it that you bring to the world? What seeds have you planted? How deep are your roots in the area that you wish to make an impact? What gifts do you bring to the world? Is it your experience? Is it your intuition? Is it your depth of knowledge and skill and literal time spent in this area? Or is there something indescribable, indefinable, a gift that you have? And that in and of itself is the experience that you need. Behind the World Tree card, we have the Moon on the Water. All right. This is also a beautiful reminder that there will always be mystery. There will always be unknown. Your true gift and your true power will never and should never really need to be completely defined. That takes all the magic out of life and all the magic out of what you are doing. We all sense this and we know this. If you've ever gone to, the cinema or a theme park, or you're out on an adventure, the joy isn't in knowing what's coming. The joy is in the unexpected, in the twists and turns, and the completely sometimes random things that occur. And that would not happen if we were in complete knowing and control of everything. So another beautiful invitation to release the need to control everything, to know everything, and to shine a light on everything. How much more freed up time, energy, and capacity would you have if you stopped worrying about things that you don't know and just got on with doing the things that you do know? I truly always believe in taking the first step and allowing the next one to unfold. That might be another message there for you as well. Beneath we have the Knight of Vessels, the eel. going with the flow and also allowing your emotions to guide you is a very powerful choice for you at this time. We are at the moment in the 3D timeline coming towards the end of 2023, and for many of us this is a time of inherent reflection. Where am I going? Where have I been? Why did it take so long? Why did I go there when I could have gone there? So there's all these things that might be rising to the surface, and I am going to go out on a limb here and say, whenever you watch this, whenever you find this, there will be something like that in your life as well, where you're needing to step up and navigate your emotional reality with a lot more deliberate confidence and being just in more ownership of what's going on within you. Of course, there's going to be things that can rock you and shake you. Of course, there are things, yes, like the moon said, outside of your knowing and outside of your control. But your ability to navigate that is always within your control, even when it doesn't feel like it. The Page of Arrows, the Wren. Part of the reason you might be sensing this tumultuous flood of feeling is things are tough. Maybe this is a literal winter. You might be watching this in winter and it's not as easy to get out of bed in the mornings when it's freezing. Perhaps this is indicative of a financial winter. Times are a little bit tough when it comes to finances, making money, spending money, or it could just be your internal reality when it comes to your finances and abundance. If you're not feeling prosperous, it's very hard to be showing up in a way where you're navigating life confidently, when you're owning your emotions, when you're taking responsibility for your state, and you're going out there and making the impact you desire on the world. So your internal reality, regardless of the external circumstance, which is all just perception anyway, and an illusion and a reflection, depending on your beliefs, this is once more what we can control. Your ability to turn this winter into a summer is within your hands and within the depth of your emotional control. The Ace of Vessels, the waters of life. To me, this really just reinforces what I just shared there around, what we choose to drink from in our life. So what's the Kool-Aid that you're drinking here? Are you drinking from life is scarce, life is tough, life is lack, life is hard, and life is always messing up? Or are you drinking from possibility, potential, abundance, curiosity, adventure, opportunity? It's a very different taste, isn't it? And it leaves a very different taste in your mouth and in your life. What you draw to you really is reflected on what you consume, and that includes the thoughts that you're consuming. And here we arrive with balance. These little dragons intertwined on this beautiful tree. Balance is something that has been prevalent in all these cards so far. The balance of your mind and your emotions, the balance of the internal and the external, the balance of how you're choosing to navigate what is going on in your life currently. A very beautiful, I see this as like surrounding energy to these cards, is at the core of it, you are the defining factor on which way this goes. Your great grand impact in the world, whether that's by helping thousands of people through your business, or healing people out there who are sick or in need, or making a beautiful positive impact in the world from like kindness or generosity, or simply being your divine beautiful self, that is in equal proportion and also in equal measure to the amount you show up for yourself internally. If you are doubting yourself, every step of the way inside, if your inner voice is saying, you can't do this, you shouldn't do this, who do you think you are, like all of those sort of things, I want you to begin to imagine those as turning down the volume of your external impact. So those little niggling voices that are, yes, just in the quiet of your mind, that are easy to dismiss or ignore, or just go, well, they've always been there, that's just the type of person I am. I'm a bit of a cynic. That all of those, every time we accept it, every time we acknowledge it, every time we go, yep, it is the way it is, it's turning down the vial, the dial on your external impact. And the way to turn that dial up is to operate internally from a higher vibration and frequency. And yes, once more, this is within your control. You might be experiencing, and I've experienced this in my life as well, deep depression and very difficult financial circumstances, or relations with people that are very unkind, and all these different external things that have an impact, and the internal things, hormonal, biological, mental, physical, emotional, all those sort of things that can impact us. Let's acknowledge that. Let's not ignore that. Let's not downplay that. Let's also go, and you have the infinite capacity and capability to rise above. Doesn't always seem possible, doesn't always seem doable, sometimes feels worse combating something when it's easier to sink back into the darkness, but you do have the power and you do have the gift. And if you're called to this, I truly sense it is time for you. All right, we're going to look at some Heal Yourself cards. I chose these just because of the direction that this conversation started to dip into just there around the difficulties that can arise. So this is going to illuminate for us things that you might need to navigate at this time. Say what you mean. Soulmate and pride. Alrighty. Very beautiful cards. Starting with this one, the universe was like, do not start with pride. That is not the order in which I gave it to you. Say what you mean. Say what you mean. The message here is literally there is something you need to communicate. For those of you who are in business, or you're on that entrepreneurial path, or maybe you're a teacher, you're a healer, you're someone who is desiring to have external impact in the world, perhaps aiming at impacting a lot of people, maybe on social media or in person at events, in community, so on and so forth, is, are you saying what you mean? Are you saying your soul's truth? Are you speaking from that place of what you truly know is what needs to be said? And this isn't always what is mainstream or socially acceptable. In fact, it probably isn't. You are put here on this earth to make that grand impact that we saw at the start. And impact isn't made by, walking the same route that other people have already walked. I imagine it like, if you're out in like a hiking trail and you're hiking a path, if it's a well-worn path, you probably won't even notice where you've walked, because it's all worn down, it's all flat, it's all dusty, it's all whatever. And if you were to forge your own path, you would notice the impact. Now, leave no trace, don't go forging your own paths if you're on a hiking trail. This is just a metaphor, but it is the same sort of thing. You are not here on this planet, in your workplace, in your family, in your community, in your business, to just repeat what other people have said. You have a divine mission, you have a divine voice, and it is time you say what you mean. The soulmate card wants to be read next. All right. To me, this is really reinforcing what we just shared there around say what you mean. And I see this as a mirrored conversation. The first part is there might be someone in your life, a soulmate, a soul match, a soul friend, a soul tribe, who isn't actually very supportive of you speaking your truth. This might come through literal conversations where they go, I don't think you should do that. I don't think you should say that. Ooh, how about you tone it back a little bit? Or it might be more implied or perceived reception. What will they think of me? What will happen if I say what I truly mean? So that is one area you might be dealing with. If that is the case, there is an invitation here to really come to terms with what it means for you to say what you mean. What it will mean for you to make the impact you desire to make on the world or in your situation. And allow that to be the foundation from which you approach this conversation of, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm not here to tell you what to do. You might choose not to. You might choose not to navigate this in this way. However, there is the opportunity here, and this is just presenting what one of the obstacles may be. The other mirrored side to this that I see is you might be thinking, well, what is it that I want to say? What do I have to say to the world? And I would invite you here, or rather the cards would invite you to consider, what is your soul's truth? What is your soulmate mission here on this earth? And I'm really getting the sense with that one that this is a little bit more leaning into your intuition, leaning into like faith and trust, and going with wherever this leads you. It doesn't have to be logical, and perhaps it shouldn't be, so you can truly get to the heart of the matter. Is if you were placed here on this earth with a soul mission, yes, that sounds divine as fuck, and it is, what would that be? If you didn't hold back, if you lent into source, if you lent into soul, if you allowed yourself to truly be moved by spirit in whatever way that means for you, what does that look like? And does that match up with what you're currently saying and doing and sharing? Finally, and I see this one as a big bold block of what might be getting in your way of making the impact you desire and deserve in this life, is your pride. My ring light is getting in the way. Though maybe that's just a secondary halo for her. Pride. I don't see this as pride in the way of you're too proud or too arrogant or anything like that, but almost that your pride in your work, as in a high degree of integrity and a high degree, a high standard, it's actually gone too far. You're too cautious. You're too precious. You're too, perhaps, in perfection mode when it comes to what you're putting out in the world. And you're actually turning down your voice and turning down your impact and turning down what you want to do and say and have and be and all the things in the world, because it is not ready yet. And you've convinced yourself that this is coming from a place of, I just want to make it really good. And I just want to make sure that this is the right thing. And, I don't want to, preemptively go too soon and then make a mess of things. That is your pride talking. That is a part of you that is secretly sabotaging you through convincing you that you just need to work on it a little bit more. So allowing that, or rather all of these blocks of you not speaking up and speaking your truth and saying what you mean, of you perhaps being influenced or not fully connecting to your soul's mission, and that perfectionism pride getting in the way, these are all beautiful clarifiers. Let's see what deck we're called to next. Before we do that, however, I just want to set something here and now. Regardless of who you are and where you are when you find this, you have a divine mission. And whether that divine mission is to simply live your best, most authentic, magical life, or to help other people do the same, or have some grand major mission on this earth and be on stages and write books and have this commercial influence, all of this comes down to your willingness to connect to the soul's truth of it all. If you are skimming the surface, this is very clearly what's coming through. If you are skimming the surface, if you are stopping yourself from going deep, if you are scared of your own depths, there we go. If you are scared of your own depths, of how far down you can go, how passionate you can be, and how much this means to you, I want you to hear this. You are safe to desire your soul's truth, your soul's mission, and to be on that soul's path. Yes, it will be scary, but you're powerful enough to deal with that. By the way, if you're watching this before the 14th of December 2023, I am running a workshop called the Queen of Wands Workshop. For those of you seeking to step much more into your divine feminine power in your business, that's not gender specific, by the way. So just reach out or comment below if you would like access to that. It's free. just like this channel is free. So make sure you like and subscribe and share and, you know, comment away. I've been called to do this for a while, and my soul's voice, my soul's truth was like, now, right now is the time. Okay. Using the Bianco Nero Tarot here, the beautiful black and white tarot, we have the Eight of Swords. We have the Knight of Pentacles. And we have the Five of Wands. Alrighty. Yes, yes, yes. To me, the Eight of Swords rather, is exactly what I was just saying there, around scared of your own depths. You would rather sabotage, you'd rather hobble, you would rather trip yourself over so you can't move forward than face the fullness and the depth and the richness of the reality when you're truly living from your soul and living your soul's mission and truth. That is a sabotage that is not uncommon. It doesn't always help to go, not the only one, but I feel for many of you, you do need to hear that. Fear, doubt, sabotage, getting in your own fucking way. This is not something that is uncommon. It's okay. It sucks and you can get yourself out of it, but don't allow that to be another one of the reasons you talk yourself down or you talk yourself out of going for what you want. The Knight of Pentacles is a beautiful advocate for patience, for planning, but also he's still a knight. He's still willing to go get it. The really key thing about the knight here is he's having a very focused look at where he's going. He's making a plan. He's got everything he needs, and you have everything you need as well. You've got your experience. Remember that World Tree card? You've got your experience, you've got your gifts, you've got your lifetime, you've got your knowledge and experience. You've got everything that you need. I'm almost expecting to see the Fool card pop out with this one, but you've got everything that you need. Give yourself the gift of making a plan. We need the feminine, that flow, that trust, that intuition, that spiritual knowing and awareness, the desire, the divinity. And then we do want to bring in that divine masculine as well and go, and all of that will flow better if we have a direction to flow in. So I would highly recommend, whenever you catch this, is spend 5 minutes, spend an hour, however, whatever feels good to you, whatever time you have, to make a plan. Knowing and trusting, this is just about plotting what you believe in this moment with the knowledge you have is the best path forward, and it might change. But having a direction to flow in and having a place to start in is going to be so much more empowering than just living in this realm of potential and possibility. Let's bring that potential and possibility into a plan and then take the first step. The Five of Wands, there will be lessons. As soon as you start walking that path, as soon as you make that plan, you're going to start having some life lessons, some realizations, maybe even some challenges on this path, whether that's from you or people around you or even just circumstances. This is an expected part of the path. Nothing is going wrong if you're being challenged. In fact, it means things are going right because you are moving forward. I'm feeling called to draw one more from this. The Page of Swords. Yes, beautiful. What's going to help you navigate those challenges is having the flexibility of mind and also the spontaneity of mind to be able to respond from a place of power and direct action. I would highly recommend you do this in combination with your intuition. We always want to be embodied and connected mind, body, and soul. This is not a logic puzzle. This is your life. We need to be including all of you. So when you face these challenges, maybe when they change the plan that you've made, coming back to, okay, and how do I take this on? How do I have, with sharp mind and clear knowing, intuitive sense and integrity, how do I move forward from here? And we're always coming from that place of responding rather than reacting. All right. So the last card I'm going to pull for us today, and do make sure to let me know if this has landed, if it has resonated, and subscribe so you can come back for the next one. We're going to be using this, can't recall the name of it in this moment, I will pop it below. Life purpose, something like that. All right. What is the message here for everyone today? So the beautiful thing about these cards is they've got a lovely image on the front and then a quote and a question and an affirmation on the back. So they very, cover all bases. All right. You've got a brain with a spring and some stars and some butterflies. Just intuitively and immediately from this, I feel there is, this is very much reminding me of the World card, but from a different perspective. We can look down at the rings of a tree and say, this is the age, this is the experience, this is the, how long it's been around, how long you've been around, and we can gauge your experience through a timeline or through the evidence, the accrued evidence over time, whatever that looks like for you. To me, this is really just reminding us also that you have lifetimes of experience and knowledge, and allowing yourself to change your mindset from, this is who I am, this limited human being in this body right now, to I have been training for this for lifetimes. I have been in the readiment of this in eternal and for an infinite amount of time. This isn't my first rodeo. And allowing that to transform how you view yourself. One's if every new situation was in fact something you've already experienced, something you've already overcome, something you've already lived through. Very interesting. Allow that to guide you this week and see what comes up and through. Now I'll read what's on the back. Pay attention to activities, ideas, and areas where you love the process, not just the results or the outcome. That is a quote by Amelia Boone. I'm going to read it again. I invite you to consider what is the message here in this for you. Pay attention to activities, ideas, and areas where you love the process, not just the results or the outcome. Beautiful. You are here to make impact. And there's going to be challenges and it's going to take time and all of the things we've already spoken about today. When you can go about that journey in a way that is enjoyable, where you can appreciate the path and not just be desperate for the destination, you are going to be so much more fulfilled the whole step of the way. Your question: when do my actions feel effortless? And your affirmation: I follow what feels right. Beautiful. That is where we will end it today. Thank you for joining me. This was a bit of a journey. I'm very excited for the impact you are making on the world, whether I ever hear about it or not. Though, of course, I would love to hear about it. If you would like to share with me in the comments below, what is the impact you are making on the world? Or what is the impact you are feeling called to or inspired to make on the world? Share it below. I'll be sure to jump in and champion you. And of course, have a lovely day. Have a magical life. And I trust this served.